Hi everyone and welcome to the STRI Virtual Research Days. My name's Mark Ferguson, I'm a research manager here at STRI, and I'm on site with Colin Mumford from Bayer, and we're stood on the trial site of a trial that we've been running on behalf of Bayer for this summer. It's a follow-up from something that we did last year. This time last year, many of you will have been stood where we are now on this trial site, looking at a turf stress trial, and Colin and Matt and Neil were talking to you about turf stress, and we followed that trial up. We got some really positive results from that trial, and we followed that up with another one this year, another good trial that's been running all through the summer through various different weather conditions this summer. So tell us, Colin, what was the rationale behind running this trial?
Thank you, Mark. So, hello everyone. You're probably wondering, why on earth are we talking about summer stress when we're in the middle of autumn now? And that's the key reason why we are talking about summer stress, because if you can mitigate those stresses that the grass plant is exposed to in summer, heat, drought, wear, if you can mitigate those, maintain a healthy plant as much as possible, when it comes to the autumn, the typical disease season for here in the UK, when microdochium patch, for example, is a prime disease that we have, the healthier your turf is prior to that period, the greater chance it has of being able to withstand that disease. So for this trial, we looked at a number of things that greenkeepers will use through the summer: growth regulators, wetting agents, pigments, and fungicides. So we had our own Stress Guard formulated fungicide that is a turf-specific formulation. And really, it was to test those products to see what were the best options available to greenkeepers. And with a trial of this kind, of this nature, with so many different factors and variables, there's lots of inputs that have to be put into this trial to get a good understanding of the effects of those products that we're using. So Mark, could you tell the audience a bit more about the trial setup and how you went about it?
Well, of course, yeah, we've already mentioned that the trial is a follow-up to something that we did last summer, and that was a really successful trial, actually, looking at turf stresses throughout the summer months, looking at drought, at heat, at traffic and wear and that sort of thing, and we're imposing similar stresses on this trial, and this is a follow-up to that trial. It's a follow-up to many trials, to be fair, that we've done for Bayer over the years. There's been lots of trial work going on in the past, there's lots of trial work going on now, and there'll be lots of stuff going on in the future. This follows up from the turf stress trial from last summer, and we're going to do a very similar thing. You've talked about some of the products that we've got in there. We've got various fungicides, growth regulator, pigment, that sort of thing. So there's been no fertiliser applications on this trial. That's the first point of stress, really. So we're looking at how the turf copes without that. Then we're going to apply simulated wear. So we applied simulated wear on this trial throughout the summer, so quite heavy wear with our golf wear machine. And then, of course, we've got the light stress from the long days in the summer. So UV is it's one of those stresses that we don't always think about, to tell you the truth, and I think the Stress Guard formulation is something that works quite well against that, to be honest. So those long days we get in May, June, July, people forget about how much daylight there is in those days, and that has its own stresses, and also the fact that people are playing for longer on those days. And then, of course, we've got drought and heat. Well, we're conducting the trial in Bingley in Yorkshire, and drought and heat are not necessarily things that you associate with Yorkshire in the summer. But having said that, we did have some, and we've had a funny old year this year. We always say that. Every research, they always say, well, the weather's been a bit strange this year, and we've had to react to it. And we always say it because we always have to react to what the weather's throwing at us as turf managers. So we had a very wet start to the year, a follow on from last autumn, where it never seemed to stop raining and local football was cancelled, etc, etc. And then we hit March, and it stopped raining, and it didn't rain again until probably the end of May or June or something like that. And then through June, July and August we had intermittent dry spells, some really hot weather at times, and some quite heavy rains. So we've had a bit of all sorts on the trial. The trial started in June and ran through the summer. So, you know, we've it's had a bit of all sorts, and the results from the trial, actually, we'll talk about them in a little while, but they demonstrate the variation in the weather and in the sort of surface conditions, etc., that we've had throughout the summer. So yeah, it's done really well.
And you talk about drought stress, and
Yeah.
we had some heavy periods of rainfall through the summer.
Yeah.
How do you prevent the rainfall affecting the trial?
It's a good question, yeah, and we have to make a judgment call to some extent with that, because we can't let it completely dry out and die through the summer. So we'll let some rain fall on it. The key thing was no irrigation, but if there's heavy rain forecast for the overnight or through the day or something like that, you can see behind us, I think probably here, we've got some transparent tarpaulins that are really good for just protecting the turf, not for long periods of time, but a day or two at the most. The transparent, so they'll let the sun through. Doesn't cause too much damage to the turf, and it ensures that a trial like this, where we're looking at drought conditions, stays dry.
And with all the products that we used throughout that period of the trial, were there any sort of visible, noticeable differences between the plots?
There was, yeah. I mean, certainly compared to untreated, the turf colour and the turf quality in most of the trial plots was good. So even the wetting agents, growth regulators, that sort of thing were giving us some improvements in turf quality, but I think over and above that, some of the fungicide products were giving us some additional benefits in terms of turf quality, turf colour, and more importantly, resistance to disease in those instances. So we had quite a bit of summer disease. A bit of microdochium started off through June and the beginning of July, and that tailed off with some hot weather, and then we got anthracnose disease coming in the latter part of the summer, in August and the beginning of September. And what we saw then was that the fungicides really did well against that disease and controlled it very well compared to the untreated plots. And what I will say is that the Signature Extra, applied at 28-day intervals, gave us some really good benefits in terms of disease control and turf colour, turf quality. So that was very good to see.
What I would add to that is that Mark mentioned Signature Extra there. That was one of the Stress Guard formulated products that we were using in this trial. We had Exteris Stress Guard as well. Signature Extra is currently only available in Ireland. It's not available in the UK at the moment, but we are assessing it just to see how it works in an environment such as this. The summer stress trial is just one example of the trials that the STRI have conducted and are still conducting for Bayer. We are actually here on another trial which we're having carried out by the STRI. This is looking at autumn diseases and a principal focus on microdochium patch control, and this is just an example of that ongoing research that the STRI carries out on behalf of Bayer. When we talk about research and new products, just as an example, for a new active ingredient to bring to the market, it takes approximately 10 years and a cost of roughly 300 million euros to produce a new active ingredient. And so we don't get many new active ingredients coming into the industry that often. Having said that, a couple of years ago, Bayer introduced the new active ingredient Flipiram, which is an SDHI, a new mode of action, which is in Exteris Stress Guard. And with Signature Extra, which is now available in Ireland, we've actually introduced another new chemical group, which is phosphate aluminium, so another mode of action. And we're using those products with other products in this trial. Mark, could you tell us a bit more about the research that the STRI does for Bayer in general?
Yeah, well, like you said, Colin, there's lots of research going on just now, and historically we've done lots registration trials looking at products where we're looking at integrated turf management and sort of combined approaches where we're looking at programmed approaches for lots of different products within each treatment. What I like about this trial and the one over there is they're quite close to it together. They're on a very similar sandy root zone, quite disease prone turf, which we like here. Not everybody likes disease prone turf, but we do, because it's great for trials. And these two trials, they overlap, so that's pretty good. That one's run through the summer, but it's going to continue into into the autumn season. We might just run it until Christmas. We might put some more fungicide apps on that. We'll see how that develops. And then this trial here is right at the start of the process. What we can already see in here is signs of autumn disease developing already, so there's a lot of promise here. We've just got the first applications on, so we haven't got any results to speak of yet, but it looks like the results will be very good because the disease is coming in, and you want to see the disease. We need to have disease in those untreated trial plots so that we can compare the efficacy of the different products within the trial with turf that hasn't been treated, and that's how we know that these products are going to work. So this is, an autumn disease trial running, just like many have run before. But it looks like it's going to be a good one. It's quite a big trial. There's a lot of treatments in here, 13 treatments. So we're looking at a lot of different things, new and old products, and different combinations. So yeah, it'd be really interesting to see the results.
I think it's important that we should stress, though, that we're looking here at one element of disease management. So we're looking at fungicide applications, and they should be used as part of an integrated approach. So cultural practices, biological practices, and then your chemical practices. So we are focusing on just that one element, the chemical practices, but when used in tandem with those cultural and biological practices, you should expect to see far better results.
Well, exactly. All those approaches, put simply, the objective is to improve turf health and plant health, and then you get good turf appearance, good colour, good wear tolerance, but it's all about keeping that plant nice and healthy within the conditions that you need to achieve the right playing quality.
And if any of our viewers have questions that they'd like to ask about this trial, how can they get them across to us?
Yeah, well, we'll be having a webinar on Thursday this week, 4 o'clock, so that's open to everyone to ask questions, so hopefully we'll see you there.